Hello everyone, it's Isaac Awosho. This video is a course orientation for English 102 W65, and this class meets fully online. Right now you're looking at my screen and you can see the announcement that I've sent out to the class. You can see the first posting, which was on the 4th. Of course, this class starts on the 13th, so if you didn't see it, that's okay. But now that you have access to the class, you should be able to view my announcements. This is recorded for those who are not able to participate in the course orientation, but also for you to go back to this video when you have questions about the way I've set up this class, about my procedures and policies. In this course orientation, I'm going to talk about me, my interests. I'm going to review the course syllabus. I'm also going to review the course calendar, then walk you through our course shell on Blackboard, and also anticipate some questions and possible answers for you. This is not a review of the entire class, because that would take me hours. So without further ado, let's get started by looking at our course syllabus. And then this is the course syllabus. You all should be able to access the course syllabus. Something to note is that the course syllabus is something that you should have access to. You should have it at your fingertips. This will guide you in understanding the way I've set up the class, my expectations, and what I expect from you as active students in this class. Notice that I have the table of contents for my syllabus. This is to guide you through navigating this document. It's an important document. It's quite detailed, but with the table of contents, you can navigate it with ease. I would mention first and foremost my office hours. Take note of my office hours, which is on Tuesday. The next thing to note is that I also have a preferred method of communication. Make sure you take note of this. Yes, this is online, and yes, we don't have a scheduled meeting. But if I'm looking at your paper, if I have certain concerns about your paper, I will make an attempt to reach out to you, and I will use, if possible, all means of communication just to get in touch with you. However, in saying that, I prefer that when I to send you an email, if you're unreachable, then I will proceed to other methods. But that is on a case-by-case basis. So make sure you go over my communication policy. In fact, let me go over that right now, so that we move forward with the rest of the items I have for this course orientation. Now, communication is two-way, as I've written. I will be using my Harper email to communicate with you, to schedule meetings, conferences with students. So you should be checking your email. I know for many students it's not a habit to check their emails, but you have to get used to it, because that's how you find out important announcements in the class. And also, if there are specific reasons for me to seek to communicate with you, I will reach out to schedule a meeting. And the meeting, it's not going to be a back and forth email, but it's going to be a virtual conference, and we will speak. Now, there could be reasonable exceptions to this. If you are unable to participate in such due to one reason or the other, we may try a phone call. And if you want to meet with me as well, you can request a virtual meeting. I would look out. I look at my schedule. I have stated office hours, and I'm as flexible as you are flexible. So if you want to meet with me, you have to be flexible, especially if you're not going to work within my office hours. because I try to accommodate students' preferences But if they are not flexible in terms of meeting, then I could stick with my policy. I don't have to. So I try to make myself available to the extent the students are available. Now, there are other important aspects of the syllabus that I want you guys to keep in mind. Make sure that you understand that this class is organized around a theme. As I say this, I want to be fair to all students. You all have different perceptions about what English, what your ideal English class should be or should look like. Maybe you had an experience when you were in high school in which you had a favorite English teacher, or maybe one who did not meet your expectations, or whatever your background is in learning English writing. Maybe you had a tutor or a college professor, and they had certain expectations for you which you really like. Now, everybody is different, and so I always say this to students, that do not expect to make out of me an example of your previous instructor, because we are all different. We all have different experiences and influences. So this is the way I've chosen to organize the class around the theme, and the theme is literary analysis, critical thinking, and research. If you go into our course shell under the syllabus and calendar tab, you click on the syllabus, course syllabus, and course calendar folder, you will notice I have the theme. Here's the GIF I created. But if you click on this document, you would see my breakdown of the theme, how you should understand this class. So let me go into that document. So this is it. So literary analysis. This covers the scope of what we'll be discussing in this class. And critical thinking, of course, that's a term that people throw around a lot. And research writing, and this is the scope we'll cover. You're going to have a final research project. Since this class is English 102, this is supposed to be an advanced writing class. You pretty much, for many of you, it's your last English class in college. So you can expect research writing. There's going to be some research in some of the assignments you complete. But most importantly, it's your final project. That's more comprehensive research. So make sure you look at this document to understand the scope of what we're going to cover in this class. And this is how I've organized this class, and it should give you an idea of what to expect. Okay. I would also mention an important note about the class is that when it comes to the policies of this class, make sure that you are aware of them. Of course, I have key information on regarding the modality of the class. The dates, if say you decide that this class is not for you, or for whatever reason, I don't wish to force any policy that students do not have any intention of complying with. You are welcome to make a decision that you believe is right for you. I never tell students, drop my class, because to me that's rude. Also, I welcome all students, but if a student for some reason believes they're not going to have the time, they're not going to have the opportunity to study or to complete assignments, I as an instructor have to make decisions. So I always tell students, what's important for you? If this class is important for you, you'll make time for it to complete the assignments and activities and submit it. Because I have only 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week. I have to manage my time as well. So take note of my course calendar and the due dates, which I'm going to go over in a few minutes. And make sure that you understand the requirements in this class. If this is an online class, it's expected that you will have the time to make time for it in order to succeed. At least you should be checking your Blackboard at least twice a week. And don't wait till it's the weekend before you sign into Blackboard. that to me shows that you are not an active student when you wait to the last day of the week in order to check and complete your assignments. Okay, so you're looking at the course textbook. The course textbook. I sent an email about this, and you should have received an email notification. It's on Blackboard as well. So no reason for you to get the wrong textbook because I have the picture right here. Of course, there are technology expectations in this class when it comes to using productivity software tools. I understand that many of you are very familiar with Google Docs. Maybe some of you have had some exposure to Microsoft Office and its productivity suites. I will be using Microsoft Word. That's what I use when I say using Microsoft Word. That's the format I require you to submit your essays. And you will find out when you watch other videos that I will release the reason why. I should state first and foremost, it's an advanced productivity software tool, more advanced than Google Doc. Yeah, I know a lot about Google Doc and Google Drive because I do research this. So if you're curious, what does he know? Why would he say that? I know from K-12 that many of you, you've been Googlified. All you use is Google, 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 Google. But this is college. And if you step into the professional setting, you are going to be using a range of productivity platform suites. And Microsoft is used a lot. It's the most dominant productivity suite when it comes to globally. So I suggest you get familiar with it. I have instructions on how you can download Microsoft Office for free. If you are a Harper College student, you should be able to access it for free, to download it for free. And that information is on the course syllabus right here. So you can click on this link, follow the instructions, and you should be good to go. If for some reason or the other you're not able to download this software, reach out to the tech department at Harper, and they should be able to guide you on what you need to do. Your student services desk should be able to help you. Okay, once again, it's for free. You don't have to pay a dime. Just by virtue of being a Harper College student, you should have access. You should be able to download it for free. Having said that, they say it's a recommended textbook, supplemented textbook to the one we're using. I think that would help you in understanding writing mechanics, and if you need templates in order to write, that's a great book to consult. This consists of the list of the assignments we'll be completing and projects in this class. So make sure that the final project, you cannot miss it. That contains a lot of points. Okay. The letter grade explained. Make sure you know what an A walk is. Sometimes I have students who turn in a C level work or B level work, and they're telling me they need it. No, there's a great expectation when you turn in an A work. I'm not a tough grader. I can be one if I want to, but I will mention this, that students who rush to submit work, who show that they who rush to submit work, or who do not show diligence in completing their work, you shouldn't be expecting an A on that paper, and that's just about it. Because what sort of A work is rushed? You don't see many work like that. Maybe some people can do it, but not many students, from my experience. Okay, I do have a late work policy, and my policy is very clear. My policy is that I don't accept it as a rule. However, there are reasonable exceptions to this policy. If for some reason you are unable to turn in a work by the stated deadline, you need to let me know in advance. Also provide me a rationale. Don't just say, Professor, I cannot make it this deadline. Can you please give me extra time? Why? Why should I? Don't say that because I just gave you the opportunity to ask for extra time. I want you to tell me why. Why do you need this extra time? Why should I listen to your concern and when there are other students in the class? Because I have to be fair with everyone. So give me a rationale. If you don't want to say much, put it in context. But also know that I pay attention to my students. Hopefully it will not become a multitude of excuses that you give me. If this become a pattern, we're gonna have to meet and talk. It's not like every single weekend there is an emergency. Of course, if there's an emergency 1 week, I understand. But if it happens like 5 times in a row or 4 times in a row, we got a problem and we have to talk. And I would just leave it at that, because I'm not going to give you ideas on how you can slack off in this class. That's not my responsibility. When it comes to late work, sometimes I do send students reminder to submit work, but I try to be strategic about this. It's not all the time that I do this. It's not my responsibility to be sending you reminders when I have stated clearly when an assignment is due on the course calendar, and it's even on the assignment handout itself. So if you are not very organized, this is I want you to work on it. Many college students are not usually organized with your schedule, especially at the community college. I've experienced that when I teach. But I will be monitoring. I'll be enforcing policies and monitoring work of students who are failing to submit. And it's possible that if you're not submitting work, you're probably not as active in this class, and you can be dropped from this class because of non-submission of assignments or completion of activities. Now, this leads to my other point about absence. Of course, this is an online class, so how can you be absent? Well, I could tell if your student is absent. You don't complete some work in a week or in a given week or a post. So if you miss more than one, if you miss a discussion board post that is due in a week or an assignment that is due in a week, you're probably absent online. Because if you're present, then what are you doing when you did not submit your assignment or complete a discussion board post? So if there's a particular reason that is affecting your availability or presence online, you need to let me know. Okay. Netiquettes for discussion forum posts. This is a look common sense. You are probably familiar with this. It's just etiquette on proper communication. Okay, what about the attendance and participation policy? Okay, so when you in this class, there are discussion forums. The discussion forums are a means of me. I'm able to track it to see if you understand the reading, if you're doing the reading, if you're completing the readings, and it's also a way for you to see how your other peers are thinking about what you're reading. So the discussion forum posts are very independent. I'm not seeking an echo chamber. Like, I don't want everybody saying the same thing. And so sometimes you will have discussion forum posts that are post first, which means that you cannot see the post of your peers unless you create your post first, a thread first. That's that's intentional. I want to encourage independent thinking in my class. I don't want students repeating what other students have said. That happens a lot in open forums. Of course, there's a grievance policy. If you think that somebody in the class is doing something that is maybe grieving you, or perhaps affecting your learning, let me know. Or even maybe if you have something against me for whatever reason, maybe because of a comment I left you on the paper. That rarely happens. But once in a while, I've had students who are not happy with the feedback given, and instead of talking to the instructor, they decide to go to departments or go online to vent their frustration. That doesn't solve any problem, because eventually I get to find out about it. Maybe anyway. So there's a policy for that. Title. How should you address me? I'll be frank. I'm very formal. So you can call me Professor Wosho. You can call me Professor. If you want to call me by my first name, that's fine. But I recommend that you think of the context where you are. This isn't social media status where you can say hello, hi there, hey buddy, bro. I've had students use some of these words, these informal salutations. I think it's rude and disrespectful. So when you communicate with an instructor, you should be aware of the context. You're not talking just to your buddy. You're talking to somebody who hopefully is adding value to you by teaching you. And so you don't use the word hey or buddy or hey there. That's not your name. What is their name? Address them by their name. How would you feel if somebody were to approach you and you were to say hey? All they do is say hey to you, and you know this, and you've been communicating with this person for like several months. They never learn to say your name. All they can say is hey, hello. That's not a way to communicate with people. There's a quote I love from Dale Carnegie, and it goes something like this: that a person's name is to them is the sweetest sound that they've heard. This is just a paraphrase. So when somebody calls your name, there is a way you respond to it. There's a way you react to it. And when somebody calls a name that is not your name, you don't react to it in a way because you know that's not your name. You have a different reaction. So learn to people's names, learn to your instructor's name. I had colleagues who like tell me that their students, all they know is call them professor. They never learn to say their name. They never even learn their name. I think it's a shame that it's become it's become trendy not to learn people's name. And if you don't know somebody's name, you don't, it's the higher the chances that you don't know how to value them. Imagine being in a relationship with somebody and they don't even know your name. That's weird. You don't even think you know the person if you don't even know their name. But in a formal setting, in an academic setting, you should be willing to call people by their title. That's my understanding, and that's the way I was trained, and that's the way I address people. If somebody is my supervisor, I address them with respect. Okay, so I want you guys to be familiar with this. I don't always call students out of this, but when students become very disrespectful and I see that they don't know how to address the instructor, I will point that out. I've done it before. I do it every semester. Okay. Uh, Behavior expectations. Okay, there's a student code of conduct. Um, okay, yeah. You guys are not meeting on campus, but if you're curious about going to campus, HAPR has a very relaxed policy. So this information is pretty much obsolete. You can come to campus, but if you think you're a seeker, then don't show up. That's if you want to use the computer lab. I want to talk about academic dishonesty in the age of AI. Well, this is becoming very trendy. I see students who are cheating. And I'll say first and foremost that I'm very familiar with AI tools. If you Google me, or if you read anything I've posted on in my information, I'm interested in technology and writing. So I've done my homework. If you are caught using AI tools to cheat on an essay assignment, I'm going to penalize their assignment. I'm not saying you shouldn't use AI tools. I'm not saying, in fact, I think I have one or two activities on using AI, but if your essay is significantly written using AI tools or software, um, you may fail that paper. Okay, so I want you to be familiar with this. Yes, everybody can go online and try to create a paper and pass it off as their own. But guess what? It's not a perfect tool. There are flaws when people use chatbots to write essays. And that's just one of the 1,000 ways I can catch students when they cheat. So my suggestion to you is have the course textbook. This is what we're using. You already seen a picture of it. Um, the textbook has a ton of information to help you with writing. So I don't see the reason why you have to use a chatbot to write. Uh, Another point I want to raise is that the student code of conduct, take note of that. This is important. Other resources at your disposal. We have gender-based or sexual misconduct information. Make sure you're familiar with it and take advantage of these resources if you're, for instance, a student who may be going through, we've got an harassment, or students who are concerned about their rights. If you're LGBT student, we have resources on campus for you as well, if you have particular concerns. So make sure you check all these areas on Blackboard. Advising, disability, make sure you reach out to the ADS office. If you're a military veteran, check this out as well. Technology or loan requests. Those of you who may be having some challenges with a laptop or computer, contact Harper College, the library technology. The information is right here, okay, on the syllabus. Student services desk, okay, if you're having problems downloading Microsoft Word or connecting on Blackboard or logging into Blackboard, contact the student services desk. For job placement, right here, they say there if you're worried about basic subsidized housing programs, food, etc., contact CEDAS. We've got Harper Wellness as well. And lastly, if you look at the bottom of the syllabus, I've got key events, key dates you should note on your course calendar. You should note regarding this class. This class ends on May 6, 17. We'll be finishing before the 17 because I try to have work submitted by the 16th. I don't wait to the last day for obvious reasons, because there could be an emergency and I have to turn in grades. So take note of all the dates that I have here. And that's about it for the course calendar. Let's look at the, sorry, that's the syllabus rather. And this is the course calendar. Now, looking at the course calendar, you can see for week 1, what I have here. I should mention that I have reviewed week 1 and what you can expect in week 1. So once you check the module for week 1, you will find a video in which I walk you through what you can expect for week 1. So in this course orientation, I'm just going to talk about the way I've set up the course calendar. So you notice that I use checkbox, and that's just to help you stay organized when you completing an assignment or an activity, and when you know you need to proceed. Okay. You notice that in week 2, I have something similar. You need to see the movie To Serve with Love. Let's just skim through everything here and just go to the bottom. So you want to pay attention to the way I've set up this class. So I've given you an idea of when things are due. I'm not just throwing dates at you without a plan. So everything is almost predetermined. Of course, I could make changes to the course to any time an assignment is due. If I change it, it's usually to give you more time. So take note of when you need to submit something and when you need to complete it, because this will really help you to be successful in this class. Like all the dates are given here, so you shouldn't be, and what you do with the date is up to you. If you want to put it on your Google Calendar, that's up to you. If you want to write it down on a journal, that's up to you. If you want to print this down and have it in a folder and look at it every time every week, that's up to you. Maybe that would help you stay organized. Good for you. Go for it. I recommend. So that's about it for the course calendar. The next thing I want to go over is looking at our course shell. You can see our course shell here. When I go to the announcement tab, you can see the way I've organized this. Let's go into the learning modules because that's the critical module for you given the start of this class. So you're going to start here for the course orientation. Check out the activities. Okay. and there's a course orientation, course shell orientation, which I've recorded. You should watch this. There's going to be a link to the syllabus right here, the course calendar. Okay. Next, I want to go over is what you can expect in navigating these tabs, especially for the course materials I've mentioned. I haven't gone through the syllabus. I know that you will have questions on accessing materials. So I've decided to make things available by the week. So you should be looking at week 1 first and foremost. Okay, so these are all the items for week 1. I already said this in my course review for my review for week 1, and this is what you're looking at. If you watch this video, I gave a detailed review for week 1 and what you're supposed to complete. What else do I need to cover that I haven't? Okay, the discussion board. So if you look at the discussion board, this is what you can see on your, but things are not always available because I look at what needs to be completed and who needs to complete. And in a given week, you may have a discussion board for post to complete. So your autobiographical profile is one of the first activities you'll complete. On discussion board, I have a sample right here. So take notes of what I did. I encourage you all to do the same as well. I ask that you post a picture so we know who you are and possibly what you look like. I think it's only fair to the class that we know who you are, because you're going to be communicating with your peers. It's going to be a good project. So as an icebreaker, try to introduce yourself to the class. I've introduced myself to you. So I think it's appropriate that you also introduce yourself to me, since you're my student. Okay. That concludes the course orientation for English 102 W65. If you have any questions, feel free to email me regarding these questions. Feel free to contact me regarding any questions you have concerning Blackboard or maybe this class. On that note, I reached the end of this orientation, and I look forward to reading your autobiographical profiles, your introductory survey, and reading your discussion board posts. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.